Hello YouTube, my name is Ashir, and today let's go over engines. Engines for new players. What should you pick? There's a lot of options. Let's take a look. Now then, usually you will have three different options for different types. There's all-rounders, combat, and travel. You can see that on screen. And then there's different variations, Mark III being the better versions. So, let's go over the differences of the engines here. All-rounders are the cheapest engines and are middle of the road engines. They're not quite as fast out of travel speed as the Combat Mark 1s, and they don't get in or out of into travel drive as fast as combat engines do. But they're not as slow as travel engines when it comes to getting into travel speed. So, which should you pick? Well, the combat engines should be the engines you pick, and it's not even close. Because combat engines get into travel drive instantly. There is no waiting around for the engine to spin up first in order to get into travel drive. Don't be fooled by the stat screen down here and think, oh, well, I want to travel fast. I should get the one with the fastest travel speed. The travel engines take a very long time to spin up and get into that travel speed. And then they take a long time to get up to the maximum travel speed as well. So travel drives for all factions except for the Terrans. Well, and even then, it's still kind of true. Travel drives are a new player trap. If you're new to the game and you're looking at the stat screen isn't even showing you the hidden stats that show how fast it takes or how long it takes to get up to max travel speed. So on paper, these look good, but you're not even seeing the hidden stats and how bad these engines actually are. They're not very good. The combat engines are the best engines because of that getting into travel drive or travel speed instantly. That's one of its best selling points, but that's not the only selling point. There is another factor to consider. When you boost, this boost speed here, your shields get depleted because you're diverting shield power to your engines. And why is that important? Well, the combat engines take less shield power to hit that boost speed. And you're only boosting, usually I only boost for like a brief second. All right, I just tap the key or tap the key multiple times in a row. Very rarely do I press and hold that key down to boost. And the travel engines especially are terrible at this. Not only do they have a very low boost speed, but they also take the most shield energy to boost. So not only are you not really getting anywhere anytime soon, but you're also sacrificing large chunks of your shield every time you try to boost. And where boosting can be really useful is trying to get away from the xenon in combat. They can be very sticky, the xenon, and if you have an engine that can handle boosting away for brief moments, like turning 90 degrees, boosting, turning another 90 degrees and boosting, and then wiggling your way out of a fight, wiggle waggling your way out of a fight, and boosting while you're doing that, you're gonna get away from the xenon with a combat engine. Whereas a travel drive, you're not going to get away. Your shields are going to go down before you can get away. You're going to be very slow at normal speed because you're not in travel speed, and the xenon are going to pick you off. The other reason in a combat situation against the Xenon where you're trying to get away, the travel speed, getting into travel drive is instant with the combat engines. Meaning once you've wiggle waggled your way out of the Xenon targeting range, when that little engine icon at the middle of your screen disappears, you can activate your travel drive and immediately get away much faster, and the Xenon will have a hard time catching up to you and following you. And then you can get away to safety, find a station to hide in, or hide behind, or go past a patrol, and the Xenon will hopefully not follow you. But yeah, that's combat engines are the engines you want. These are a new player trap because, like I've already said, travel engines take time to spin their engines up, and in that time you're traveling very slowly, and the Xenon will catch up to you and start shooting you again, resetting the time needed to spin up your travel drive, meaning you're dead. And then in between all of these is the all-rounders. The all-rounders are in the middle of the extremes. So, or the average between these two, I should say. So that's why all-rounders are the cheapest. So if you're on a budget, all-rounders will they're kind of okay, but they're mostly crap. All the engines are more or less kind of crappy until you get better options later on in the game. I'm not going to go into that now, but there are a few better options depending on what you want to do. Argon are actually some of the better ones. And then there are factional differences, and I'm not going to get into that here. Just know that in general, travel drives are new player trap, and you should never use them on any ship, no matter what. Combat engines are the way to go, even for traders. For small and mediums, combat drives. I believe even large. I'm not sure if you get an option for extra large. Extra large only has one engine type, but at that scale, you're looking for the right ship to. For larges and extra large, it's more about the right ship, and I can tell you about that. Well, that's kind of spoiler. But for large and extra large, there's more things to consider than just engine type. And that should do it for the video. So yeah, I should give an example of why travel engines are just so bad, so very, very bad. There we go. I'll just tab over. There it is. All right. Oh, the game's paused.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
I should have this upgrade going a little sooner, but that's all right. We can wait the 30 seconds. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to take 30 seconds each time. I don't particularly enjoy that. What can you do? All right. So I'm going to press the travel key, the travel hotkey, and let's count how long it takes to get into travel drive with the travel engines. That's 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds to get the travel drive spun up to actually get into travel mode. And look how slowly I'm coming up to speed as well in the center of the screen. This takes a very long time.
You're in trouble now.
Now then, let's try the boost. Look how quickly the shield bar disappears. I'm going to just tap the boost and look how much of the shield goes away. That's a large chunk of shield every time. If I press and hold, and the shield's gone. And you haven't outrun the xenon because you didn't go very fast while you were boosting. And now you're dead. Look how long it takes for the shield to come back. Small and medium ships have shield regen delay. So it takes a while after you're done being shot, even for your shields to come back up. There's a countdown timer. So getting stuck with travel engines is not ideal, especially for combat situations. Not that you'd ever want to be in combat in this ship particularly, because why? This ship is so bad. Why would you want to do combat in this thing? Just don't. Just don't.
Docking granted.
It's not even it's not even as good of a ship for pirating other ships because there's a better ship available. It's not even a good pirate ship. I mean, I guess it's serviceable if you had to, but ugh. Again, why?
Successfully docked.
So let's go over to the combat engine Mark 1s. I guess while we're waiting to look at the engine upgrade, look at the stat difference between them. There isn't much of a difference. There's a little bit more travel speed, but that's kind of a lie. It takes a long time to get up to that travel speed. There's not really that big of a difference between Combat Mark 1 and Travel Mark 1. The Mark 3s, however, there is a faster out of travel drive speed and acceleration, but it's not that big of a difference even on the Mark 3s as well. This will be very ship dependent. And whereas this is a terrible ship, there are barely any differences. This is a very ship dependent stat change. And I wish I could show you that difference. I'll have to go hop on another save to show this difference and which ships are very good for speed, but it is clearly not this ship. You should sell this ship as soon as you can afford to get literally almost anything else. Alright, so let's demonstrate how fast I get into travel drive. Press the button. Instantly in travel drive, coming up to speed much quicker. This will get you away from a xenon combat situation. Maybe not the combat Mark 1s, and maybe not in this ship, but you stand a much better chance with combat engines. Let's do the test for the um, boosting. I'm just tapping the key. Look how little shields it's using compared to the travel engines. That is also very useful. You do a little tap longer, boost in a different direction, turn, tap a little longer, boost in a different direction. If that was a real combat situation, you'd have enough shields to do this enough times to get away from the xenon to activate your travel drive like that, and then start zooming away faster than the xenon can keep up with you initially. Which is all that matters, because then you can get onto like a highway or get over to a station.
Docking granted.
Anyway, that's the video. There's the example. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, leave a like on the video. If I said something wrong or you got a comment, question, anything like that, leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.